Welcome to BUZ Production Management. You see the production scheduling screen here, which is the heart of the production system. We're looking at a single day, all the production lines and the statuses of each of those items that are on that production line: on hold, unstarted, commenced, completed, cancelled, a net figure of unstarted and commenced, our capacity and our variance to that capacity. We want to see what makes this up. We go to the Detail tab, and here we see each individual item that has to be made or ordered here listed. You can see the date that it's to commence production, the date it has to be dispatched from the warehouse, the installation status, which this allows us, if we have to shift some jobs off from the production schedule, we can see that this is unconfirmed and therefore would be the first jobs I would be shifting off. The sequence number allows the production people to manually set a priority in which the jobs will be done, and the yes/no flag is so that the supervisor, around about an hour before the completion of the day's work, would come here and look at the jobs that are not completed and say yes or no as to whether he would expect to complete them that day. That will then update the installation schedule and the customer service screen. The production status is set here, and if I saw something that wasn't right, I could actually drop it down and change its status. I can move it to a different production line. If I had spare capacity on the Roman blind production line, I might move some rollers over onto that, for instance. If we were using production processes such as fabric cutting and metal cutting and QA and packing, we could update those statuses here and we'd see them, and we'd actually see when they last were moved to that status, and then other order information. If I just want to look at a single order, I can come to this. So if I was the production supervisor and somebody rang down, I might put in the order and I could look at the individual, and I could actually flag the yes/no flags here if I needed to update those. Over on the options, if I was just a supervisor for one production line, I would probably deselect that, just select my production line, roller blinds. I might, if I was doing the yes/no, I might deselect the jobs completed, and then I'd just go load. And there's my summary. I've got 9 completed jobs. Now, over here, these jobs are marked as production completed, not job completed, so they're slightly different, but you can see that I could then go down and set them. We look back at our options, we had a production complete and a job complete status. Now this could also be used for ordering in from external suppliers, not just for production. And you can see here, these are actually shipping containers, and we're monitoring the progress of shutters coming from China in different containers on ships. To change the status, we would normally go to the production scanning program, and we would scan the barcode on either the job sheet or on the individual items to change their status, and we'd set their status and maybe their production process here and scan it, and then we'd get an audit trail running here. On the production line setup, you can see that each day of the week, of course, we have a different total of how many we can make, or if it's time-based, we say how many minutes we've got of production, and -1 means they're not production days. That becomes significant when we say it takes 2 days for the item to get through the factory, and these days don't count as days in production. So when it's working out how many the just-in-time production date, it would not consider these non-working days. You can also see here that it's got a lead time of 5 days, so no matter what, we would not aim to commence production in under 5 days. That gives us time either for check measures or to order fabrics in. When we look at the inventory group, we can see here that for the roller blinds, they're on the roller production line in this case, and the standard production minutes in this case is 1. So we're just counting units. But if we were doing it by time, such as we might have one production line that does rollers and Romans, we might say a roller takes 10 minutes on the production line, a Roman takes 30 minutes on the production line, and then back over here on our production line maintenance, we'd actually have in here 480 minutes or something, which is an 8-hour day. and we would use that time and measure the capacity of that using those times. The whole process really sort of commences when order processing is brought up and the order is picked off the list, and then when we save the order out of here and print the cutting sheets and labels, at that point it checks production and actually books it into the production line, and it also does book the installation. So production management mostly happens in the background through scanning barcodes and by commencing production through the order processing program. That completes the overview of production management.